Did you know the Wild West had a woman so feared that even hardened outlaws and lawmen crossed the street when she passed? Her name was Sally Skull. Some called her the scariest siren in Texas. Others swore she was part outlaw, part ghost, and entirely unforgettable. She could outshoot a gunslinger, outdrink a cowboy, and outtrade a horse thief. Her story is stitched with betrayal, whispers of murder, and the kind of eerie legends that never die. But was Sally Skull a ruthless killer, or just a woman too wild for her time? Stay with me as we uncover the chilling tale of Texas' deadliest frontier woman, because this is one legend of the Wild West you want to forget. The Texas frontier in the early 1800s wasn't a place for the faint of heart. Raids, wars, cattle rustlers, and Comanche attacks kept settlers on edge. Most women were expected to raise families, sew clothes, and keep to the homestead. But Sally Skull never fit that mold. Born Sarah Jane Newman around 1817, she grew up during a time when Texas was still Mexican territory. From an early age, she learned to ride, shoot, and curse as well as any cowboy. Family accounts say she was clever, hot-tempered, and fearless. By the time she was grown, Sally was riding horses bareback across the Rio Grande, trading with Mexican ranchers, and carrying pistols on her hips. She wore men's clothes, smoked cigars, and carried herself with a swagger that shocked polite society. And when people whispered behind her back, Sally only laughed. She wasn't there to be liked. She was there to survive and to rule. One story tells of Sally walking into a Texas saloon, 2 revolvers shining on her belt. A drunken cowboy sneered, "What's a woman like you doing dressed like a man?" Sally didn't hesitate. She pulled one pistol, cocked the hammer, and placed it on the table between them. "What's a man like you doing still breathing?" she said. The room went silent. Nobody questioned her again. That night sealed her reputation. Sally Skull wasn't just another frontier woman. She was a force of nature. But power like that came with enemies. Sally married twice. Both marriages ended in whispers of betrayal, cruelty, and perhaps worse. Her first husband, Jesse Robinson, was a soldier and Texas Ranger. He fought in battles and often left Sally alone to manage their land and cattle. When he finally left for good, rumors spread that Sally had driven him away with her wild temper and sharper tongue. Her second husband, John Skull, gave Sally her infamous name. Together they traded horses across Texas and Mexico. They were feared as much as respected. But then John Skull disappeared. Some said Sally poisoned him. Others whispered she buried his body somewhere along the Nueces River. No one ever proved it. But no one doubted Sally was capable. From that moment on, she carried the name Sally Skull like a badge of honor, a reminder that she didn't need a man to carve her place in the Wild West. Sally became famous, or infamous, as a horse trader. She could spot a lame leg from across the corral, and she cheated anyone foolish enough to test her. One tale claims she rode into a rancher's yard, offering to trade 2 scrawny ponies for one of his prized Mustangs. The rancher laughed in her face, but when she leveled her pistol and reminded him that life was shorter than he thought, the rancher made the trade without another word. Stories like that spread like wildfire. Cowboys feared her, ranchers resented her, and drifters admired her. And yet, behind all the bravado, Sally Skull's legend grew darker. People whispered of missing men, of horses that never made it home, of midnight rides into Mexico where gun smoke lingered. Had Sally become more than just a horse trader? Had she crossed into outlaw territory? By the 1850s, Sally was everywhere. Saloons, ranches, the Rio Grande trails. She cursed in English and Spanish, and her voice carried over campfires like a war cry. But the strangest thing about her wasn't just her boldness, it was her luck. Gunfights broke out in towns where Sally walked, yet bullets seemed to miss her. Bandits tried to ambush her only to wind up dead or vanished. Husbands disappeared, rivals went quiet, and still Sally rode on. Some claimed she had made a pact with the devil. Others swore she carried charms that made her untouchable. And when the Civil War rolled in, Sally's legend only deepened. She hired herself out to Confederate soldiers, ferrying horses and goods across dangerous territory. She charged double what men did, and they paid it. Because if you wanted something delivered through enemy lines, you called Sally Skull. But when the war ended, Sally's fortune turned. Her wealth dwindled, her enemies grew, and then she vanished. One day, Sally Skull was riding her wagon along the Texas plains, and then she was gone. Some say she was murdered by hired guns, her body buried in a shallow grave by the Rio Grande. Others believe she rode south into Mexico and started a new life, leaving her enemies behind. But the spookiest version says she never died at all. Travelers swear they still see a phantom woman riding the borderlands at night, pistols on her hips, cigar smoke curling into the dark, eyes glowing like embers. And when coyotes howl across the plains, some old-timers whisper, "That's Sally Skull still riding." Sally Skull's story is more than just one woman's wild ride. She shattered the mold of frontier womanhood, becoming more feared than most men of her time. Some call her a villain, others call her a pioneer. But one thing is certain: Sally Skull embodied the chaos and mystery of the Wild West. Her tale is told in saloons, history books, and ghost stories alike. She may have vanished from the earth, but not from legend. Because in the Wild West, legends never die. If Sally Skull's story sent chills down your spine, just wait. We have more untold tales of the Wild West waiting for you. From ghostly cowboys to deadly shootouts, every story reveals another shadow of history. So don't ride off just yet. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and join us for the next legend. Because out here, the frontier never really ended.